Hello, everybody, and welcome to the entertainment headquarters. And it's been a while, but here I am. I'm back to do a trailer reaction for the brand new The Mandalorian and Grogu film. That's right, the highly anticipated film that is, of course, the feature-length spin-off from the show The Mandalorian, featuring Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, and of course Grogu himself. So, as you know, The Mandalorian, for me personally, I really enjoyed the first couple of seasons. I found it refreshing. I thought it was great the fact that they were taking the Star Wars universe into a different direction. I like the fact that, for since the Star Wars franchise started, or the universe, the main focus has always been on the Jedi and the Sith and the Skywalker family and legacy. And then after obviously having the original trilogy, after having the prequel trilogy, and then of course the sequel trilogy, they decided to take the franchise and expand it with doing prequel films. And then once they launched Disney Plus, bang, it was time to add some different shows and take the show in a different direction, being the highlight The Mandalorian. And I really enjoy The Mandalorian. I really think it's a fun show. I like the characters that they've introduced me to. I like how it's a mixture of CGI, it's a mixture of practical effects. Pedro Pascal, as you know, he's on a roll right now. He's got, of course, Mandalorian. He's got The Last of Us, and now he's got the MCU playing Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four, and going forward, the next Avengers film. So, yeah, really enjoy what we're seeing, and it's just great action adventure storytelling within the confines of the world of Star Wars. And in all, that is what Star Wars is. It's, classic action adventure with the sci-fi element, and you're like, knights and, all of that stuff, good versus evil. Instead of having swords and sorcery, we've got lightsabers and spaceships. So it's a lot of good fun. But let's take a little look at Mandalorian and Grogu. As you know, it was created by Jon Favreau. He is also directing this film. It was also co-created by Dave Filoni. Of course, we know it's produced by Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures. And like I said, the cast of this film is Pedro Pascal, is Din Djarin, alongside Sigourney Weaver, Jeremy Allen White, and Johnny Coyne. And the premise of the movie is the New Republic enlists Din Djarin and his apprentice Grogu following the fall of the Galactic Empire, during a period where remaining Imperial warlords threaten the galaxy. So without further ado, let's check out The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters. War criminals.
Long live the Empire.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Strap in.
You will suffer. And then it will be his turn.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
Are you scared? You should be.
Do we run? Or do we fight?
I like this kid.
What are you waiting for? Let's save the rest for after dinner.
Yeah, so that pretty much is everything I was expecting it to kind of be. The Mandalorian and Grogu, like I say, since the beginning of the show, yes, it's Star Wars, and Star Wars in itself is, it's like a giant space opera. It's action adventure, but this show more than anything brings that element of the action adventure theme. The characters alone, bounty hunters taking on criminals, going around the galaxy, taking, the who's who of warlords and, crime bosses, and mixed in with, the aftermath of like the Emperor and the Empire being destroyed. And this is leading towards, I believe, the formation of the First Order, because I believe the Mandalorian series takes place between the end of, I'm sure, the original trilogy and the beginning of the sequel trilogy. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to mash up in the end. But like I say, another great thing I'm liking about this is I'm liking seeing the mixture of special effects and practical effects. They did that well with the show itself, with having Grogu being more of a puppet, and then when there's certain elements with him in, they've got to then turn him CGI. But I think that's a great way to get the audiences more connected to the character, because if you're an old school Star Wars fan, we know in the original trilogy, Yoda was pretty much more or less a puppet, and the following tradition that way, but also because it's aiming at, traditional Star Wars fans that grew up with, of course, I would say the prequel trilogy, which was more CGI based, and of course the show, which is there to capture family audiences. This is going to aim at bringing that target audience in, the families, young kids. And if you've got more practical effects, in characters like that, money, toys, everyone's going to want a Grogu teddy bear. And if you see a practical working animatronic Grogu on screen that's more realistic, more pulling to the eye, it's going to bring that audience in even more, and it's going to bring in more cash, more kids, more families. But in all, I just hope it's a fun film. And like I say, fan of the Mandalorian show, I thought it was fresh and different. And I hope that the film continues that trend, what the series left off with. But that's just my opinion of Mandalorian and Grogu. What's your opinion? Are you a fan of Pedro Pascal? Do you think you're overloaded with Pedro Pascal? I think he's too much in everyone's faces. He's on everything. He's in every major franchise now. Marvel, Star Wars. What's next? The DCU? James Bond? Who knows? But I personally like him as an actor. He's definitely grown on us. But let me know down below what you think of The Mandalorian and Grogu. What you think of Star Wars. Are you enjoying what they're doing? Do you like this direction? Until next time, Keep on enjoying your movies. Keep on enjoying all things entertainment. Please like, share, and subscribe if you would like. And I'll catch us all at the next one.